Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Blast in the Past with me, Devere, and this episode, Ghostmaster, released back in 2002. It's how to describe it? It's a strategic puzzler, really, with spookies to use. So let's just continue game. Oh, I forgot to show you the options. How amateur of me. Can we see options from here? You do get rebindable controls, luckily. But I've just left it as the basic setup at the moment. Also, display-wise, you will need to muck around with a config file if you want it to run in modern resolutions. Otherwise, it gives a slightly stretched appearance. But as you'll see, graphically-wise, that's not such a big problem. So at this moment in time, I've only got this particular mission left, because this is at the end of the game. There's your cool room where you can train your spooks. We'll have a look at that later on. And high scares. So here's where you can replay previous missions. You have 12 missions in total. It is worth noting some of these do take place in the same areas. You'll go back to the same places to do them. The same houses and things. But all in all, still quite a decent amount. So let's... oh, I should actually wanted that one. Let's just revisit Haunting 101, which is your basic tutorial level.
You are ready for your field training, young Ghostmaster. We are taking you to the Kappa Lambda sorority house in Gravenville University. Only a small number of sorority girls are in residence at the moment, but scaring them all away should be a sufficient test of your abilities.
So here's where you pick your team. Of course, in the early missions you only get 4 ghosts, but you do get more as you go on through the game. You can bring more different ghosts. And this is to say, you only get a few at the beginning. You will be given more throughout the game, and you can rescue ghosts, as we shall see shortly. So I just used the recommended. And Boo, very useful. Pro tip, make sure you max Boo out as soon as you can. We'll talk more about it in a minute.
Drive the Kappa Lambda girls from their sorority house.
So page up and page down just to skip through the levels. So here's one of the trapped ghosts. All levels usually have trapped ghosts somewhere in them.
Dreaded dust! I used to command the storms, dearie, but since I went and got myself sucked into this electric broomstick, all I can manage is this infernal sneezing! It'd be a different matter if I got free, mind you. I'd whip up a storm to wake the dead!
So yes, we can work on freeing her. So on your left here you have your ghosts. There's your AI that you've got to get rid of. In this mission it's easy enough, you've just got to get everyone out of the house, that's it. You'll also notice there's little things, electrical there, emotional there. These ones look up green because they count as inside. These ones grow out as outside, or through fair, depending on the description. You'll also notice each ghost has a fetter, emotional, inside, electrical. So yes, if it's electrical, I can bind him to something electrical, such as this, for instance. And it says powers. You also have orders. Now orders, the more you use a spirit in hauntings, the more orders become available, the better trained they become. Powers, now those you can, as you earn gold throughout the game, you can unlock them in the ghoul room that we looked at earlier. So let's just stick him on to max.
Okay, dearie. I'm on your team now. Let's blow this joint!
So now we can use her in this mission and in future missions. You'll also notice up your top left there's your ectoplasm. Dependent on the spirit and the power level they're using, it will use more ectoplasm. But bigger scares gets bigger reactions from the people. So let's bind. Let's set his orders first. Now this is one thing, you can set your orders and your powers on the bench. So let's give him an order. Only use the powers if immortals are present. And let's bind him in here. And what powers? Well, we've got enough to give him go max. suppose I'll bench Cockjammer for the moment. Oh, there we go, because he's electrocuting people. So there's someone there. Let's get Weather Witch and stick her outside. So it says hers is through fit, you see, which basically means a pathway. Ah, somebody's gone already. Jolly good show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop him down a tad so he doesn't use as much ectoplasm. Where was Weather Witch? Now if we get her a siren song... Actually, in that case, I'm going to actually bench him. And you see, siren song will drag people towards the ghost. So if I put him here, get him to... He should be able to get everything yet. Allow him to hit a lot of people. So yes, I mean, this level, it's very easy. You only have to get everyone out of the house. But on later levels, things become a lot more challenging. You'll have very specific goals you need to achieve. You might need to get a person to a certain room to either release a ghost or to complete a mission goal. Or you might have people that you don't want to spook. And that's where all the strategic side of it comes in. There's also later on, there'll become adversaries that can trap your ghosts. And that's where the slightly cumbersome interface can be a bit of a setback, because you won't have a lot of time to get them saved before they get captured. You have to really grab your ghoulies pretty quick, let's just put it that way. As I said, the rest of this level is just easy enough now. It's just keeping them freaked out until they all do a runner. So as I say, yeah, graphically, it definitely shows its age, but you can panel your cameras around and scroll in and out with your mouse wheel. Also the AI, as I say, there's certain times you need to get a AI to a certain room, and that's where some of the frustrations come in with this game, especially with the hospital level. Oh, they'll get halfway towards the room you want them to be in, and then they'll suddenly turn around and go a different way. And you know, you get rewarded for how fast you complete the game, how many ghosts you release. So some of the levels can drag a bit if you're going for 100% completion, just because you're waiting for the AI, a particular AI, to do something. And also mentioned certain ghosts become more useful than others. I say, Boo, get his powers unlocked as soon as you can, because you'll use him lots. And the more you use them in missions, as I said, you'll get more orders that you can use. Really, you know, you can really refine them to target specific people. With some of the ghosts you rescue towards the end games, because you can't bring them back, they're not of much use to you. So you'll find yourself relying on a very small select handful of ghosts. With a lot of the other ghosts never really used, except for maybe in the odd one situation, for one little situation, and that's it. Yeah, so it's a great pity you couldn't have brought them, the ghosts you rescued, you couldn't have brought them back to earlier levels for better scores. It was a bit of a missed opportunity there, I believe. Let's see, we should have enough to get him out now. Let's see what powers he's got. Oh, now that'll put me over, see there, it's in red, so it'll put me over the TK limit. What's he got that we can use that won't? That'll leave him on fright. Let's see, is anyone upstairs? Because you don't have to leave him bound, I could quite happily bind him up here if I wanted to. Anywhere basically that's got an inside, I can bind him at any time I like, or I can send him back to the bench to conserve on power. Oops, I meant bind. Also, because he's quite well trained, let's give him another order. Let's set a new order. Where's Rome? Ah, there he is. You may roam to chase mortal. And let's set Blair Wetchel. And he'll now target her specifically. If she comes in that room, he'll now start following her. Is that her? No. Oh, where's she gone to? Go to? Right, so let's bind him where she is. She's going to be wandering all over the place. See what I mean about this? Right. Stay there for a second. Oh no, just put him in there. That should let him follow her. certainly on some of the later levels, you've got lots of ghosts, lots of ectoplasm to play with, and you've got all these different effects all kicking off. It can be quite incredibly good fun, this game. So he's now sort of following her. But Earth's another effect you can bind to, so are mirrors, water, all sorts of things. Shit. Let's bind Cockjammer to something. There she goes. So now we should change his orders. Delete that one. And, we'll pick on Mortal. So there's only her, so let's bind him again up here. So yeah, as I say, later levels do get quite a bit more challenging, a lot more strategic. I mean, you've got very specific goals, strict goals you need to meet, and if you scare some people off, you'll lose the mission. Say 12 missions in total, because this does include the very last mission that was released as a separate download. I should have left him on Rome. Oh well. Oh, well, she's gone now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So yes, that was let's say this is just your basic introductory level. We've got Weather Witch as well, so. And you get your score at the end. So yes, that's the Class of Spook and High. That was it. That was the bonus level. It kind of ties up the game because it did end on a cliffhanger, but they never got any further. Continue game. I was going to try and I don't know what was going there. Let's just have a quick look at the ghoul rings. Let's have a quick look at some of the ghosts. So this is also where you train them up, give them extra powers. You can just unlock them with gold. Some of them will have a choice of different powers to give them. But so that is just really one of the biggest problems, is because you'll end up with these. Oops, not one. You'll end up with these sort of small handful of ghosts because you've used them so often, and you will use them often. You'll have them really trained up loads of orders, and other ghosts such as Dragoon here. I mean, he's great for getting scares, generating scares, but he can be used on through fares. But I've hardly ever used him, apart from the mission I rescued him on. Same with Hypnosis there. Electrospasm's pretty good. So it's a great shame. That was a missed opportunity. If you could have gone back and played earlier missions with these people, like Harriet and such, that would have definitely made the game a lot better. Undoubtedly. So anyway, we'll conclude our dealings here. This was Ghostmaster. So 12 missions. Some of them very challenging, sometimes slightly frustrating because of the AI and the slightly clumpy interface. And so obviously graphically it does obviously show its age, but you expect that with an older game. But other than that, it should run pretty decently on the modern systems. And all in all, yeah, I mean, I've played this game on and off a good several times through to completion. It's one of those little games every sort of, because it's tongue-in-cheek, over-the-top humour, and the narrator and the alarms. And the adversaries when they come into the later levels trying to stop your ghosts and your hauntings. Gives it a lot of challenge. It's just an all-round fun game. So anyway, gang, thanks very much for watching the video. I hope you found it interesting or useful in some way. And as ever, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to let me know you're alive. And I'll see you all next time. Bye now.